can't believe I'm doing this! Ah, I'm back! Hi YouTube! I've just come out of the shower and my hair is still wet, and I made that salad, and while I'm making this video we might like start fluffing, which is gonna be kind of nice. Oh my god, YouTube, I'm back. It's been 3 years and the reason I was gone is because I had a baby, and he's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm super hormonal. I'm still like crying when he does something cute, and I'm very clingy. I was, however, very busy during this time. I'm going to show you for a second. There we go. That's what I've been doing. And I think today, since it's my first day back, I want to talk to you about this one. And I think the first thing before I go into that, I was wondering, like, okay, so I'm back on YouTube and what do I want to do? And I'm not sure. I'm going to be very honest. We're just going to take it one step at a time because I want to do this and I want it to succeed. So we're just going to take it one step at a time. As you've seen, I am still committed to the lifestyle that I've chosen 8 years ago. Wow, 8 years raw vegan. I'm 40 now. I know. How did I survive this long? But so I'm still committed to this. So I am going to leave Rawmunchies as the name, but I'm also going to add my own name, which is my maiden name, which I still write under. I am married with a kid now, and yeah, so I'm going to tell you something that happened to me, and it actually is related to my child because I live in Scotland and my family lives in Israel, and I miss them very much. And obviously in 2019 it was very hard to be a mother all alone and not have my own mother support me and not have that kind of family connection that we always had. And I kept imagining, like, what would happen if my own child one day just, who's a brilliant, creative, charismatic and curious kid, if this little boy was a bit bigger and he had that one-on-one connection with her and he was able to just come and show up and say, "Hi grandma, come pick me from the airport." And that was just kind of an idea, and then something happened, and I want to get this right, so I wrote this. Okay, so this is the video I stumbled across on YouTube completely by accident, which is also how I discovered my lifestyle, and also how, you know, everything happens by accident. My husband and I met because one day I had to cancel something and I went somewhere else, and there it was, love at first sight. So, well, actually, you know what? I want to teach something to this world. Love at first sight happens when you start talking. It's not like you see the person. It's more about like there's a something there. Right. This is the video that I watched. It's by Peter Santinello. Sorry, Peter, if I'm pronouncing this wrong. And it says, "What Hasidic women have to say." And Hasidic Judaism has always been kind of a fascination. I have lived in Brooklyn myself, where this is filmed. I have had that experience with Chabad. I have often kind of admired that lifestyle because it's so devoted and it's so beautiful. And in this video, he meets a Jewish filmmaker who makes films for a specific audience. So these are women, all women, who are allowed to watch films, but not the kind that's in the regular theaters, because they're not allowed to watch violence. There's not supposed to be like any type of how do I say, romantic romance, if you get my meaning. And it's quite defined. And what she does with these films, because I did watch a couple of them, is to talk and open the discussion about mental illness and inclusiveness. And I was like, wow, that is incredible. So her name is Malki Weingarten, and this is the story. So I'm watching this and I'm suddenly like getting so inspired about this, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, okay, what if this boy that I'm thinking about is he's from that community, but the grandma is not. She is very secular. In fact, ultra secular. She doesn't know anything about it until her daughter marries into that community, and her journey and his journey, and of course a nice story around why he suddenly shows up and what happened, and her daughter's gone, and they're trying to understand what happened to the daughter because suddenly the boy's here and he's all alone, and keep it very, very moving and kind of. My mom, when she read it, she says, I can't stop. I'm flipping page to page, and I'm thinking, wow, that's great, because it's not an easy to an audience. Obviously, she knows me, and then within that, bring that world into light, and it's been a journey. And the first thing that happened is, because I was so busy doing all that other stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, right, I don't have time for this. I don't have time even to write it as a short story, so I'm just going to write it down with like pen and paper, like just, okay, all my ideas, and just get them down. And then a month later, I was just done writing it. I was just like running through it. I couldn't stop. I opened my computer. I was gonna watch something else, and then suddenly I was on the word processor, and I was just like typing away. And then I usually go through 4 drafts. So I do the first one, finish it, do the second one, just like completely ruin it and bring it together again, and then kind of rearrange it all, and then I read through a PDF, and then I get one of these, which is like Amazon print, and once I'm happy with it, then it goes to editorial. And I was thinking to myself, and by the way, this is exactly what the cookbooks go through, except there's a lot more trial and error, and like not always the best of trial and error, because the kitchen gets very messy and everything's kind of but it's good. Anyhow, I clean. So I thought to myself, well, I've got a problem here, because I'm actually writing about a world that I am not part of. And it's not like, these are fantasy books. This is something that is set in a real place. So how am I going to do this so that I get this right? And then I thought, well, here's someone I know who knows that world and, is willing to talk about it and talk about how it works. How do I get to Malki? And so I'm starting to Google this, and I find the one store that sells her videos to the world. Ended up watching one of them as well, which was really nice. She's got a whole series, and I watched the first one. It's about an autistic girl who's now a teen, and how she brings the best out of everyone. I love that film. And then I also watched later Hash Hash, which is all about this mother that's struggling and how her daughters deal with it. Anyhow, I'm contacting this store, and I'm saying to them, hi, like, this is what I did, and this is what I'm looking for. And I understand that, it's a question of privacy, so should I just maybe write the email and maybe you can forward it to her? A week later, we've had a phone call. One of these is on the way to her. She's amazing. Like, she was my first beta reader. I still can't believe I got to her, because her work is amazing, and beta readers are people who read your book and comment on it, and it was just mind-blowing. It was just like one phone call I will never forget, because I learned so much about this world that I didn't know about that much. I mean, yes, I have had the experience. I have had Orthodox friends. I have had this really close connection with Chabad houses, which are all Hasidic, but it's kind of not the same when someone's correcting your own mistakes about what you think, how it works, and is saying, well, actually, this child needs to be older than you originally made him because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and how it works with kids in this community, and in order for him to be able to do the things that you're saying in the book, then actually he needs to be older. He would also, like, even specific things, like he's ordering this meal, and she says, well, actually this only happens in this time of year when there's this holiday. So like, such an inspiration about like what I've learned on the journey. And then I also went and said, okay, well, now I need another editor, because like a proper development and line editorial, which is like when they look at the sentences and make sure that everything is clean. And again, I want somebody who understands the community. And on the way to that, this was like a mind-blowing opportunity, because I was reaching out to different places and getting such amazing responses about, wow, this, I've never seen anything like this before. This really like loving relationship between the two worlds, between this woman who's seen life and she's had difficulties, and this beautiful boy who's from this completely different world, and she doesn't know his world. It's like, and you know, he's Jewish Hasidic, he's ultra religious, she's ultra secular, and how she's trying to protect him from, and this is a big thing in the book, it's called the noise, this kind of this is where that video really helped, because there's a point where it's mentioned how difficult it is to get an interview with someone from the community, because they're so often misquoted, they're so often like criticized, there's not a lot of inclusion from the outside world. And I think that's what really made me do this. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to bring this out, I have to talk about this world in a way that someone would see them as the beauty of it, as, yes, of course, every society has its ups and downs. There's always someone who's going to be upset. There's always someone who's not going to find out their place, and they're going to talk about it, but that's not everybody. And these are the people that are willing to take that risk and put themselves out there and talk about it. And I want to show that world. And so this is kind of where the inspiration was, and to get that feedback with people, like they were all women. I was looking for, because of the daughter that had moved into that community, and because of the grandmother who's from that community, I had to have that be correct. So they're all women who are Orthodox and know the Hasidic world, and I'm getting all this feedback about, wow, this is you know, something that hasn't been done and it needs to be done. Eventually, I did get a mentor who did kind of give me what I needed, and she wanted to stay anonymous, and I'm going to, of course, respect that. And she is from that world, and she, it was again something that I heard along the way, that some people are trained to talk about it, and I thought, well, that's exactly it. This is a person who would know the answers to the questions that kind of, you know, is this correct? Is that correct? And then, of course, it went to my copy editor who does my work in general. And it was such an experience for me. I actually cried when I wrote this, because especially towards the end, which is where I bring all that acceptance, and I show like what a better world could be like if people were more accepting. And so yeah, so this is one of the things that happened, and right, so this is, I think, not the way I thought I would return to YouTube, to be honest. And I've just sat here and I've just recorded this, like me telling you all these things like I'm talking to a friend, because, well, in a way it's true. And it just, yeah, this is one of the things that I did that happened to me. And I think this is maybe one of the things I would want to do, because again, like I told you, I don't really know what it's going to be like to come back, and I just wanted to flow. I want to talk about things that happened to me, real things that happened to me in life that were inspiring to me, that can be inspiring to other people. Things like, wow, this is one I would definitely make. How my whole life to this moment happened because I missed a train, or how I got to go to a university where, yeah, I mean, my chances of being hit by that train were higher than getting in. Me specifically, me, and just things like that. I want to be able to tell you what life can be like, and also the sad things, like I have a disability. It's because of the birth, and it's like, just if you're pregnant or something, this was a 1 in a 10,000 chance for that to happen. Like this, like you're safe, you're fine. But I have been coping with this. Like I had to change my schedule because it attacks in the night. So I go to sleep at 9, which means I'm up doing the stuff at 5 a.m. And it's madness, but it's beautiful. And yeah, so in the last couple of months, what I've been doing, I just finished writing all the stuff, and it's in editorial formatting, and what I'm doing is this one is on pre-order. This is the first one. It's kind of exciting. It's the first one that's coming out, and then I'm doing the rest of them. And I've done websites, I've done Facebook, and and I'm going to give you a recipe. I'll link it below, because the crackers that you saw before in the salad are ones that I made myself. I was like in love with Rawmunchies pizza crackers, and then they stopped making them, so I just looked at the back of the pack and kind of did my calculations based on kind of how they said they made it, and made a couple of changes, and it came out amazingly, and we are just addicted to these. They're so nice. So I think I've kind of told you everything that I want to say, and I can't believe I'm doing this! I'm back! Hi YouTube!